And the Debrinick Channel is back. Today we are talking about the Colorado River. We are going to be doing a Colorado River update. We are going to start things off right now. We are 6 p.m. here Central Time. We are going to scoot on. You can see that this is February 27th. As we kick on, you can see this low pressure here in the Midwest starting to kick things up. Very cold air behind this, as they've had record highs out in front of this thing all day long. The current temperature here in Illinois is 74 degrees. It got up to 84 today, which is very, very extremely mild for this time of year. We're sitting at 74 currently with rain on the way later, and it's going to drop off with a low for us tomorrow of 21. So we go from 84 to 21. That's the difference here with this massive low pressure kicking through, and we continue to scoot here, and you can see this high pressure starts to dominate. This low pressure turns into really powerful low pressure with rain all the way back from Louisiana all the way up into Canada, just a conveyor belt from Gulf moisture, Atlantic moisture kicking this massive isobars, and it starts to cool off and it scoots out quickly as we're getting into March. This is February 29th. You could see it start to roll out. We get into March 1st here, and most of the country is fairly dry after this storm. So technically, March comes in like a lamb instead of a lion, as February goes out like a lion. But look at California over here. Tons of precipitation kicking in here for March 1st. So for you, March is coming in like a lion, and it's not going to give up anytime soon. You're looking at Friday the 1st. We keep scooting here. The 1st still. The 2nd, low pressure out here, 991 isobars, 998. There's still a lot of isobars over here from that powerful between the high pressure and the low pressure that just scooted through, and another low pressure that's forming. You're going to see seesaw temperatures here in the Midwest. Over here in California, more rain. 1,000 low pressure, 990 over here. Not as intense as the last storm that just went through, but you still got a lot more snow. We're already March 2nd, and there's a ton of snow coming for California. We'll be doing a California update tomorrow to see if this holds true. But for the Colorado, not a whole lot. As you can see, it's been high pressure. Now we move into Sunday, and we're starting to get in from Nevada into Utah over into Colorado. You could see a little bit of rain kicking in from this storm. A lot of big low pressure here, so the winds are going to shift to the south for the central part of the United States. So that means a big warm up come Sunday. It'll probably be real warm again, and then you have low pressure out here kicking through 992 isobars. This is a very powerful low pressure. There's still snow, rain all the way back to California. We're looking into Sunday, March 3rd. We continue to scoot, and now the snow's just right over Colorado. So that's a lot of snow. You can see this low pressure up here, 991 isobars. It's a powerful low pressure system. You can see that the winds are coming up. It should start to tap into this Gulf moisture here, and you can see that a little bit of rain's forming from that, and then it kicks up into Iowa, and you still have a dirty high pressure here with more snow for Colorado. Good news, the west coast is getting hit, especially the northwest up in Washington, Oregon, a little bit in California, the north part of California. Another system starts to kick in. This 998 starts to scoot away. Very powerful, but further north this time. Rain all the way back into Illinois. Over here, 992. Florida's in the action, a little bit in Texas as well. We're currently on March 4th. 998, we are 150 hours out. You can see that more storms come into California, kicking in on March 5th. So very wet times. Starts to rain, 104, and it's still raining there, and we keep on scooting here. 2 low pressure systems kick in here, so more rain for Lake Mead, and the Colorado River system in general gets snow and rain, and then this starts to scoot out. There's still a remnants of a low pressure. It looks like it could be a low pressure, but they don't have no low on there, so as it's a 1008 isobars, so it's the lowest pressure other than this 1004, and you have a ton of snow out here in the Colorado, so that'll be good news. Now, it doesn't look real heavy by any stretch of the imagination, and it's not real dark, but it's still snow to speak of. It starts to scoot away. More rain for the upper Mississippi River, 997 down here. You have a powerful low out here, so this low pressure scooting away from the coast, so there will be no nor'easter. You have 994 out here, a lot of snow and rain up here in Wisconsin, all the way back into Colorado as well, and it scoots on 995 isobars out here. So very stormy times for about March 9th, next Saturday potentially. A little bit of snow starting to develop on the backside. There's still some snow over here in the Colorado, not near as much. California is fairly dry on Saturday next week. You can see the system's really powerful, 991 isobars. A lot of snow up north, not so much here. It must be very warm. A little bit of snow for Colorado. That's right along the divide there, so it's hard to say exactly where that would be. And then it starts to scoot out. Maybe another storm possibly brewing here. We'll watch that. No, not much to speak of. That storm's way up here, and it kicks in there. Now, it starts to get a little wet about March 12th for California, so something else to watch. More rain possibly coming. Another low pressure, 1007 isobars kicking through. 1005, it deepens a little bit, and then we keep on scooting here as it goes into Arizona, Utah, a little bit in Colorado as well. 997 isobars, very powerful up in front of it. The high pressures are really squeezing it between, and we're at 996, so more snow and rain. So there's some good amounts of snow possibly coming for the Colorado in general. A lot of storms going from east to west this time of year, and very powerful this time of year as we're getting into technically a couple days away from meteorology spring, so we're getting there. There'll be less snow and more rain, and that means we're moving towards warmer temperatures. It's just a matter of time. Let's go check windy.com and see what's going on there next. We are here in Colorado, and we are going to start down here near Telluride, maybe possibly in 1.36 inches. We go to Aspen, 1.64 inches. We go to Vail, 1.58. We go up towards Steamboat Springs over here, and you're looking at 1.4. We go up to the beginning of the Green River, and you're looking about 1.7 potentially. Now, this is the GFS. We go to the European model, and they're calling for 1.5. We go back down to Aspen, 1.72. We go over to Telluride, 0.84. Steamboat Springs, possibly 1.42, but I know we're not doing much in California, but big time snow's possibly coming for California. 8 inches they're guessing there, and 8.8. So they're in agreements. They're going to get a ton. 10.4 down there. We go to the European model, and they're calling for 10 there too. So between both of these, this is definitely something we're going to have to watch. Look at this, a pink, almost 11 inches possibly coming for down New Bollard's Bar, and that is going to be something we're definitely going to have to keep an eye on just going forward. For all my California people out there, they're talking about a ton more rain on top of it. We already know that the lakes are up like 80% plus, and they're releasing more water, but like even over in Tahoe, they're supposed to get 9.23, in Reno 4.69. So something to watch. Let's go to the new snow depth. They're calling for 102 inches possible coming for California, so we'll be watching that. Now, how does it fare over here? You're talking about 17 inches, and we're sitting currently around 91% for the snow depth, so we definitely could use some more over here. Not so much over here with it being at 80 and having a good snowpack to begin with. Definitely something we're going to have to watch, and I will be back tomorrow. I will do my best to get back tomorrow or Thursday to do a video. So back to the Colorado, as we are doing Colorado River update today. Steamboat Springs 14.5. That is incredible. And Telluride at 7.9, and we go to the GFS, and they're calling for 14 down here, so that would be good. 18 possibly down here. Vail possibly 16. The European is calling for 13.5. So there's a difference. We go to Aspen 14.9. We go to the GFS, and they're calling for 19. So in this case, we're going to hope for the better amount would be awesome, but time will tell. We go over to Price over here, and they're talking for 10. We go to the European, and they're calling for 5.6. So let's hope for that. The GFS wins there 18.4. That's good numbers there. We go to the GFS, and they're calling for 16. So you could see there's a difference, as generally there is, not always, but sometimes they agree. This is Lake Navajo watershed, 15.5. We go to the European, and they're only calling for 4. Let's hope for the 15. We'll take that. We go over to Montrose, and they're calling for 3.3. We go to the GFS, and they're calling for 9. We're rooting for the GFS to win this one out. Time will tell. We go over to Kanab, and a 9.8 over there, and the Europeans only calling for 2. So if you live in Kanab, you're probably hoping for the 2, but we could definitely use the 9. That would be awesome. St. George 0 there, and the GFS is calling for 3.9. But you have to remember the GFS always says Vegas is going to get snow, and generally it doesn't. So they're calling for 1.7 for Vegas to get snow, but the Europeans calling for nothing. We go down to Havasu 0 there, and my friends in Havasu, you're lucky, no snow coming for you according to both models. So that's good news. And let's roll on out to Flaming Gorge first tonight. As we roll out to the Flaming Gorge, you can see that the current water level is 6,025.73 feet, and that was Tuesday, February 27, 2024 at 7 p.m. The level is 21.27 feet below full pool of 6,047. Changes since yesterday? Well, it hasn't changed. It's the exact as it was yesterday. We go to the 7-day, and you can see that the lake is down 0.16 feet over the last 7 days. Over the last 14 days, the lake is down 0.30 feet. Over the last 30 days, the lake is down 0.72 feet. That's not too bad. Not quite a foot in 30 days during the dry season. We'll take that. Over the last 120 days, the lake's only down 3.48 feet, so not quite 4 feet in 6 months. We go to the last year, and we're looking at 19.72 feet. And your inflows are currently 2,025. Your outflows, we're getting closer, 1,986. Won't be too long. We'll start getting some melt, and this will start to increase as the snowpack will soon start melting off before too much longer. And we go to your 3-year graph, and you can see for your 3-year graph, 6,017.87 in 2022. Last year, we were looking at 6,006.01. Today, we're a lot higher at 6,025.73. Good news. The lake is 82.33% of full pool, so we'll take that, and we go out to Blue Mesa next. As we roll out to Blue Mesa, the current water level is 7,487.82 feet, and that was Tuesday, February 27, 2024 at 6 p.m. The level is 31.18 feet below full pool of 7,519. Changes since yesterday, the lake is down 0.06 feet. Over the last 7 days, the lake is down 0.13 feet. Over the last 14 days, the lake is down 0.43 feet. Over the last 30 days, the lake is down 1.22 feet. Over the last 120 days, the lake's down 6.11 feet. But however, over the last year, the lake is up 39.72 feet. Your inflows are really not that good. 139 CFS. Your outflows are only 407, so you're really not releasing that much. We go to the 3-year bar graph here, and 7,436.57 in 22. Last year, we were looking at 7,448.10, and today we're at 7,487.82. And we go to the blue, and it's at 67.60%. Once we get to 66.66%, then it will flip to yellow, and anything over 66.67% is blue, so we'll take that. We are going to Lake Navajo next. As we roll out to Lake Navajo, the current water level is 6,041.76 feet, and that was Tuesday, February 27, 2024 at 6 p.m. The level is 43.24 feet below full pool of 6,085. Changes since yesterday, the lake is down 0.07 feet over the last 24 hours. Over the last 7 days, the lake is down 0.33 feet. Over the last 14 days, the lake is down 0.62 feet. Over the last 30 days, the lake is down 0.91 feet, almost a foot. It's pretty good. Over the last 120 days, the lake's only down 4.06 feet. So that's really good for 6 months. A little over 4 foot, so that's pretty good. And the lake is up, though, 24.39 feet over the last year. Your inflows aren't very good as everything's frozen as 74 CFS. Your outflows are 376. We go to your 3-year bar graph. 6,018.10 in 22. Last year we were looking at 6,017.37 feet, and of course today we're at 6,041.76 feet, and now we are in the yellow at 63.64%. So once we get to 66.67, it'll go back to the blue as stated earlier. All these graphs are the same. Let's go to Lake Powell next. As we roll out to Lake Powell, your current water level is 3,562.40 feet, and you can see the trend is going down, and usually right around middle of April it starts to rise. We're about 60 days or so away before that will start to increase. We'll see if it gets higher than this right here in July 1st. Hopefully it does. Hopefully it gets a lot higher, and I have to change these from 3,600 to like 3,620 or whatever. Time will tell. And that was on Tuesday, February 27, 2024 at 6 p.m. The level's 137.60 feet below full pool of 3,700. Changes since yesterday, the lake is down 0.16 feet over the last 24 hours. Over the last 7 days, the lake is down 0.80 feet. Over the last 14 days, the lake is down 1.51 feet. Over the last 30 days, the lake is down 2.88 feet. Over the last 120 days, the lake is down 10.37 foot. That's not very good. However, the lake is up 41.27 feet. Your inflows are currently 5,179. However, they're releasing a ton of water. 11,359 CFS is heading out, so that's quite a bit. That's why Lake Mead continues to increase. We will see what ultimately ends up happening. Eventually, they'll have to shut off the gate, I would think. But now let's go out to the 3-year bar graph. And the 3-year bar graph's 3,527.31 in 2022. That was lower last year at 3,521.13, about 6 feet lower to be exact. And then this year we're at 3,562.40 feet. And we are back into the red here. We were into the yellow for a little while, 32.72%. And let's go to Lake Mead now. As we roll out to Lake Mead, I want to talk about this for a little bit here. The current water level is 1,076.66 feet. Now, last year, of course, we were 10 feet lower at 1,066.81 feet. And 2 years ago, we were even lower than that at 1,047.13 feet. Now, what a lot of people have been forgetting about is that they have talked about this, that the 7 states have agreed upon with the federal government to increase the water levels by 3 million acre feet. Well, when you do that, the water level is going to rise. It's just the way it is. Now, I'm not certain when they're going to start releasing water. Generally, it's around March 1st. So we are only a couple days away from that happening. Will they start to do that? As you can see here, they started releasing water here. They started releasing water here. So will they start releasing water there? I don't know for sure. We were close to 1,100 back in 2017 or 2018. We could possibly get to 1,100 by next year is my thoughts, because they're doing that for 3 years straight. They're going to increase it by 3 million acre feet every year. So there's nothing but water to go up. So they're really not releasing that much down. Now, however, Lake Mojave and Lake Havasu hasn't really suffered that much from them cutting back. Now, I don't know if Lake Mojave and Lake Havasu are a part of that agreement. However, I do know that Lake Mead is going to retain more water for the next 3 years. So with that being said, that's why the lake continues to climb as high as it does. Now, it did help that they had a record snowpack the year before, so we will see what ultimately happens. So your 1,076.66 was on Tuesday, February 27, 2024 at 6 p.m. The level is 142.94 feet below full pool of 1,219.60 feet. Over the last 24 hours, the lake is up 0.08 feet. Over the last 7 days, the lake is up 0.81 feet. Over the last 14 days, the lake is up 1.73 feet. Over the last 30 days, the lake is up 4.60 feet. Over the last 120 days, the lake is up 11.22 feet. And over the last year, the lake is up 29.53 feet. We're almost 30 feet higher than we were last year at this point in time. That's crazy. Your inflows are 13,006. So really, if you have 11,000 something coming in, you're gaining another 1,000 something from the rest of the watershed. That's pretty incredible. Your outflows are 7,200. So they're really not releasing that much. And they're definitely going to continue to climb. Once these numbers start to flip-flop, then we know they're starting to release more. Time will tell. We'll see what happens. Let's go to your 3-year bar graph. 1,066.81 feet in 2022. Last year, we're at 1,047.13 feet. And, of course, today we're at 1,076.66 feet. Now, we are in the yellow as we're 37.60% full. So that's better than being in the red like Lake Powell. Now, Lake Powell is the only one that's in the red amongst the Colorado. So it will start to climb here in the next month or so. So we will be watching to see how high it gets. 91% snowpack, not so good, but there is more snow coming. I keep telling myself that, and then every time I make a video the following week, it really didn't change much. We were 94 a couple weeks ago, so we actually came down 3 percentage points. Time will tell. Let's go down to Lake Mojave next. As we roll out to Lake Mojave, the current water level is 642.04 4 feet. And that was Tuesday, February 27, 2024 at 6 p.m. The level is 4.96 feet below full pool of 647. Changes since yesterday, the lake is up 0.12 feet over the last 24 hours. Over the last 7 days, the lake is down 0.61 feet. Over the last 14 days, the lake is down 0.86 feet. Over the last 30 days, the lake is down 0.03 feet. And over the last 120 days, the lake is up 6.20 feet. Over the last year, the lake is down 0.94 feet. Your inflows are 6,732. Your outflows are 9,911. 3-year bar graph, 641.87 feet in 2022. Last year we were looking at 642.98 feet, and today we're at 642.04 feet. And percentage of capacity, we are currently at 92.23% of capacity for Lake Mojave, down to the final stop, but not the last. The final and favorite stop, Lake Havasu. As we roll out to Lake Havasu, the current water level is 447.06 feet, and that was Tuesday, February 27, 2024 at 6 p.m. The level is 2.94 feet below full pool of 450. Changes since yesterday, the lake is down 0.06 feet. Over the last 7 days, the lake is down 0.24 feet. Over the last 14 days, the lake is down 0.60 feet. Over the last 30 days, the lake is down 1.09 feet. Over the last 120 days, the lake is down 0.77 feet. And over the last year, the lake is also down 0.49 feet. Wow, that's rare. All across the board, all downs for Lake Havasu. Inflows are currently 6,371. Your outflows are 5,310. And we go to the 3-year bar graph, 446.69 feet in 22. Last year we were at 447.55 feet. Today we're at 447.06 feet, and percentage of capacity, we are currently at 92.59%. Thank you guys for stopping by. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope all is well with everybody, and you guys have a blessed day. We will see you tomorrow with a Lake Oroville update.